All right, let's get into this interview.
Get into it.
At the end of the day.
No, and plus, at the end of the day, it's like we get the opportunity to sit down with one of the most powerful people in the world, a world leader.
Yeah.
And we get to ask
Yeah, it's about clout.
him some stuff, and we're going to ask him what we want to ask him too.
So chat, we're going to go ahead and debunk all of the fucking Netanyahu lies. I hope you guys are fucking ready. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll put this shit at 1.25 speed. We'll break it down.
So if you guys, want to hear shit, whatever questions you guys want to hear, there's probably a ton of other interviews of him on CNN or typical news.
I think me reacting to this interview would be better than listening to dumbass Hassan, right guys?
We're going to ask him what we want to ask him. So to me, this is crazy. Like how far we've come, and we're get to sit down with world leaders.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. So.
Yeah. I mean, for any backlash, this is just an opportunity, again, you can't really pass up. I don't see it. Like, there's no one else doing this.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll sit down with any world leader in the world.
I agree.
I mean, my dream guest is Kim Jong-un.
Both
So Kim
of ours.
Jong-un, if you're watching this,
This is kind of
like
like
to
that.
come to North Korea and interview you
All I
as
could
well.
think about is the interview when we're doing
I'm
this.
so down to pull up to Moscow and interview Putin too.
Yeah. We'll do everybody.
This is what sets off podcasts. You could put a small microphone here, but no, you have to see this thing, right?
Yeah. Prime Minister Netanyahu with us today. We're here in the Blair House.
Yep.
Right? Is this the White House grounds?
Close.
Close.
It's the sort of the official guest house of the United States.
How have you seen like the White House and stuff? Like how has it evolved over the years, over the times of you visiting it?
I've met quite a few of the American presidents because I've been in office pretty long time. Not because we don't have elections, but because I've won quite a few of them. Okay, I think there's never been a friend like Donald Trump in the White House for Israel. I think he's a remarkable leader. I think he's changing history. He said he'll make America great again. He's already done it. You know, America is widely admired now around the world. And especially after our joint operation against this regime that wanted to, chant death to America, death to Israel. Well, I think together we've shown the world a different face of America. Very powerful, very directed, very resolute.
You guys are very tight, right? Would you call it a bromance?
Well, you might. I mean, we've known each other several decades, and I really like him.
What do you like most about him?
If you meet him close up, and Sarah and I have had this opportunity many times, including last night in a great dinner we had at the White House. First of all, Donald Trump can be very funny.
Of course.
He can be very funny. He can
All right, now we're going to have the fucking glazing right now. Get ready, guys. So strategy number 1, glaze.
Off camera, right?
He can, absolutely. You can split you sort of sit there and you start guffawing because it's so funny. And also, I'll tell you something else. That Sarah, who's a psychologist, and she, psychologists, psychologists.
Of course.
They look at people. They identify very quickly with that. You know what she said to me about Donald Trump? She said he's a good person. He has a good heart. He wants to do good. And that is something that I think that you have to know him well to appreciate it. And the last thing I tell you about him, okay? I mean, I can tell you many things, but he cuts through the chase. He cuts through the BS. You have to spell out what BS is. He cuts through the BS. He goes right to the point, to the heart of the matter. And sometimes he says things that get right to things that people don't want to really think through. And he cuts to the bone. And that is an amazing quality because it lets you focus on the things that are important. So it's been an incredible partnership, both personally, but also for our two nations.
Did you have any type of relationship with Biden?
Not the same. I've known Biden for, 40 years? Almost as long. Well, both of them. Over the decades, it was a different relationship. It was a friendship, but also it evolved into how shall I say this? Severe disagreements. And with Donald Trump, we've had powerful agreements. And where there's no daylight between an American president and an Israeli prime minister, amazing things can happen. Like our common enemies who chant death to Israel, death to America, and want to develop atomic bombs and the means to deliver them to this city and to every part of America. All of a sudden, they're not so intimidating. All of a sudden, we can defeat them. All of a sudden, you can use these brave American pilots who come from around the world, drop it right over the bunker, and help us end the amazing feats of our soldiers and pilots. That's an amazing thing. It's good for America. It's good for the security of every single American.
How do you feel about the Americans' opinion on Israel right now?
Well, look, I think the broad segments of the American public support Israel, but I'm concerned that the young people in America, some of them are getting the wrong picture of Israel, vilification, demonization. You can feed them a lot of lies. So the only way you can fight lies is with the truth. How do you fight lies? You tell the truth. And you have to tell it as often and as, intensely as the lies that are leveled against you. And that requires an effort. It's like another battlefield, And I'm I'm doing this podcast, among other things, to reach young
Of
people.
course.
You guys are pretty young. I mean,
What the fuck did I tell you guys? I'm doing this podcast to reach the young people. Netanyahu is very well aware, chat, okay, that he is not liked by young people. He is overwhelmingly disliked by the youth in America. And here's the problem. If you don't get the youth on your side now, they're going to grow up not like Israel. And guess what? Tax dollars are going down. And the next thing you know, it's not going to be a good day for Israel. They're going to have to actually exercise some type of diplomacy with their neighbors instead of bombing them all the time.
30 years old.
30.
30.
And the fact that they didn't catch that as soon as he said that and say, oh, well, why is it so important for you to get in touch with young people?
That's young.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest misconceptions are about Israel?
Well, first of all, they don't know what kind of an open society it is, how pluralistic. I mean, we live in the heart of the Middle East, okay? Iran is not that far away. In Iran, they hang gays by cranes. In Israel?
That's not fucking true, bro. The propaganda, man. The propaganda. Guys, Iran is actually very westernized, man. Like all this shit about, oh, like the women can't like wear, they have to wear hijabs, blah, blah. Dude, that's not true. That is not true. And I'll show you guys here in a second.
Probably Tel Aviv is one of the, the most open, liberal-minded city on earth. Israel is a
We
hotbed.
visited there, yeah.
No, it's completely different.
Our assistant's
Women.
gay too. He had a good time.
Well, you could vouch.
yeah, no, we all had a
So,
good
I mean, look at that. How about women, okay? Women in Iran, they shoot the women. They shot this extraordinarily brave and beautiful woman, shot on the sidewalk because she showed too much hair. In Israel, women are, you know what? What women? I'll tell you what the difference is, okay? So I had this young woman officer in my military secretariat. The prime minister has military secretariat and usually has a general and it has staff assistants. One of the staff assistants was this young woman pilot, navigator, on leave from the Air Force.
All right. What is this? So this is her walking around. Women without their fucking hairs. This is in Tehran, by the way, at a mall. Looks pretty fucking normal to me, doesn't it? Look, am I telling you guys that Iran is a perfect country? Of course not. Fuck no. Okay? Fuck no. But the Israelis will sit here and try to tell you guys that, like, they're not a normal country. They're savages. The women can't walk around without their hair out. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this, man? Huh? What is this? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Again, you guys know, I don't give a fuck about Iran. I don't care. I just care about the truth. And when they sit there and they say that women are getting beat up and they got to cover their hair or whatever, that's a fucking lie. This is in Tehran, bro, where the government sits. Come on, man. So, anyway.
To do this work in the prime minister's office. You know what you did now?
Hmm.
She was flying over the skies of Tehran.
That was recorded, guys, like 2 weeks ago. Let me look here. 2 weeks ago in Tehran. Emma Travels. Probably a thought, but yeah.
Attacking this horrible regime that tyrannizes the women in Tehran. That's a difference. The women there get shot on the sidewalk, and an Israeli woman pilot helps
Oh, yeah, the women get shot on the sidewalk. Sure.
liberate Iran, quite the women of Iran. And boy, that's a big difference. And that's true of everything. It's true of nightlife. It's true of the startup nation, the incredible ingenuity and entrepreneurship, incredible freedom. Israel is a paragon of freedom in an area that doesn't exactly enjoy freedom. And to have young Americans.
Oh, a paragon of freedom when you guys literally oppress millions of Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza. Makes sense.
March and support.
They have zero rights.
These mass rapists, these people who beheaded men, who burned babies alive. I'm talking about the Hamas monsters. Is that their ideal? They know nothing. I mean, they don't.
Bro, just like when the IDF soldiers were prisoners and then they protested to keep those prisoners, get those IDF soldiers out of jail. They literally ran a protest, guys. So this is what happened. Some IDF soldiers, a male prisoner, by shoving a thing up his rectum, and they went to jail. There was a protest led by other IDF soldiers to get those IDF soldiers that did the out of jail.
don't know what they're talking about. And I want to bring that truth to them. So Israel is a great free society and the best partner that America has anywhere on
Great
earth.
people there for sure. When we visited, everyone was so welcoming and people were inviting us over for dinner and stuff. But I see, like, that's the thing too. I'm not claiming to be an expert too, but I'll just read stuff on like X and like people will say like Israel's killing babies or like they're starving people.
That's completely false. In fact, the reason we have civilian casualties in Gaza is because Hamas, who are basically horrible murderers and killers, okay, committed to our destruction and your destruction.
Okay, see what he did there? He weaved it in. Oh yeah, it's not just our problem, bro. It's your problem too. Like you know, these guys are crazy radicals that want to kill us, man. So, look at this, guys. So, Israeli protesters rally for the right to prisoners. This Israeli crowd is effectively protesting for the right to last year. This is Sodom. They say Israeli soldiers should be allowed to mistreat Palestinian detainees however they want. It's part of the defense for the Israeli soldiers who were arrested. For sexually abusing a male Palestinian prisoner at this SD time and base. Guys, this shit is real. This shit is real, chat. They're protesting so they can fucking prisoners, bro.
בגדול, עוד פעם, זה מעניין לי את העכוז מה עשו לאיש חמאס הזה. אני כל הזמן זוכר, קודם כל, הדבר היחיד
I always remember, first of all, the only problem for me here
מבחינתי הוא בעיה פה, זה
is that it's not a regulated policy of the state. Bruh! You guys see the evil of the Israeli government now? They don't look at the Palestinians as humans, guys.
שזו לא איזושהי מדיניות מוסדרת של המדינה להתעלל בצירים, כי בגדול זה גם קודם כל מגיע להם, וזה אחלה נקמה שאנחנו צריכים לתת להם, ודבר שני, אולי זה גם ישמש אותנו קצת יותר כהרתעה. קשור 30 מבנותינו על עצים ב7 באוקטובר ועשו להם מעשים לא פחות חמורים.
Anyway, I'm showing you guys the receipts, chat. So what? We've debunked 2 lies of Netanyahu. The women have no freedom. They got to cover their hair. Gays aren't allowed. We debunked the whole, that the IDF is a moral army, that they don't their prisoners. He's talking about mass. Bro, the IDF literally engages in legalized.
They say so openly. I mean, they say the big enemy, the real enemy, the great Satan is America. And Israel is the small Satan. But it's a small Satan that is standing in their way of conquering with other Iranian proxies, conquering the Middle East, and then we move on to you. So America is the great Satan, and America, needs to disappear. And we stand in their way. But one of the things you have to understand is Gaza is the densest urban environment you can find, and Hamas embeds itself in the civilian population of Gaza, the Palestinians, okay? We tell the Palestinians, hey, leave. Because after they butchered us and our women and beheaded our men and burned our babies, we have to remove this threat. So we come in to take care of the Hamas terrorists. But the Hamas terrorists don't leave the civilian neighborhoods. And we say to the civilians, we call them up because we have their telephone numbers. We say, leave, please leave. We send them leaflets, millions of leaflets, please leave. We do everything that is possible that no army has done. They want to leave. You know what Hamas does? They shoot them. You say, we want you to stay because we want to have civilian casualties, because then they can show it on CNN or all these other networks and so on and play that Israel is deliberately doing this. We're not deliberately doing anything. We'd like them to leave. And in fact, successively during the war, it's been now a year and a half, they finally
Let me read super chats, guys. Holy shit. Lenny,
do leave, most of them. So we've minimized those casualties, but it's not because we seek to have civilian casualties. It's because Hamas wants them They're willing to sacrifice their own children, their own families, both because they don't really care for human life, but also because they think it's very good propaganda against us. And if they just let them leave the war zone, get to the safe parts, safe havens that we've created in Gaza, no one would be hurt. And
no, they get bombed at those places too. Like, this is another lie. Guys, so what they do is they pass out these pamphlets and say, yo, you're going to be safe here, go here. If a Hamas fighter goes there, they bomb the fuck out of that place, chat. Also, very important for you guys to know, they use a program called Lavender, okay? And Lavender is basically this AI system that puts Palestinians in one of three different categories, okay? Kill, capture, or leave alive. Most of the time it's kill, especially if they're a fucking male, okay? And I think there's a couple other categories. But to keep things nice and simple, basically what it is it's an AI system that allows them to quickly identify and figure out who they're going to kill. Guys, keep in mind, the Palestinian registry of everyone that's born, the Israelis get that. You want to know why? Because they're fucking occupied. That's one of the biggest talking points the Zionists give. Oh, well, bro, you know, we left Gaza in 2005. They have autonomy. They have their own government. No, they fucking don't. That's a lie. You control the food that comes in. You control the water that comes in. You guys control the fucking power. You guys control the fucking internet. You guys control all the aid that comes in. They can't leave. You control the airspace. So when they sit there and say, oh, we pulled out of Gaza in 2005, that's fucking cap. They're still occupied. According to international law, they're still occupied, chat. They have no fucking sovereignty at all.
And the minute Hamas lays down its arms, surrenders, maybe we let them leave Gaza. That's it.
No, you will kill them. That is why they're not fucking going ahead and drop the arms. If they drop their arms and give the hostages back, you are going to fucking slaughter them. And they will no longer have any type of leverage. That is why they're holding out to those hostages with their dear fucking life. And that's why also it's a lie when they say, oh, they're killing the hostages. No, they're not. The Israelis are the ones that are killing the fucking hostages with their fucking relentless air bombing campaign and the starvation. Why the fuck would they kill their own hostages when that's the only leverage they have?
The end of the war. No one gets hurt.
What would your message be to Palestinians that just want to have like a peaceful life?
Get rid of Hamas. Help us get rid of Hamas. They
Bruh. So yeah, so that you could go ahead and occupy them even further with no pushback.
torment you. They oppress you. They shoot you in the back of the head. If you want to leave the war zone, they kill.
That's what Israel does. They snipe kids. Dude.
Mr. President, the foundations of life in Gaza, family, health, and community, have been shattered. The medical system has not failed. It has been systematically dismantled through a sustained military campaign that has willfully violated international humanitarian law. Civilians are now dying not just from the constant airstrikes, but from acute malnutrition, sepsis, exposure, and despair. Between my 2 visits to Gaza, I witnessed a sharp decline in patients' health, driven not just by injury, but by worsening hunger and malnutrition that left their bodies weaker, their wounds slower to heal, and their survival far less certain. And let's not forget, this is a man-made catastrophe. It is entirely preventable. Participating in it or not, allowing it to happen is a choice. This is a deliberate denial of conditions necessary for life: food, shelter, water, and medicine. Preventing genocide means refusing to normalize these atrocities. It means refusing to dehumanize the Palestinians, to refuse to see them as calories counted or numbers of trucks moved. We see now that this way of thinking has brought about a human dignity crisis with an entire people on the edge of survival. On March 18th, the ceasefire was violated by Israel. That day,
Guys, this is an American fucking doctor telling you guys the horrors of what he saw.
I witnessed the most extreme mass casualty event of my career at Nasser Medical Complex. 221 trauma patients are—
Pay attention, guys. Pay attention. This is what Israel does not want you guys to fucking hear, man. This is what retards at Nelk don't know about when they invited this fucking retard Netanyahu. Listen to what he's going to say.
Arrived in one morning. 90 were dead on arrival. Nearly half were severely injured children. No health system on earth—
You guys hear that?
221 trauma patients arrived in one morning. 90 were dead on arrival. Nearly half were severely injured children.
Over 100 of them were kids.
No health system on earth could cope with this, least of all one that is besieged and starved of supplies. Hospitals are meant to be sanctuaries. Healthcare workers and first responders are supposed to be protected. Children are supposed to be protected. In Gaza, these protections are simply gone. Every day, the distinction between combatant and civilian is erased. Most of my patients were preteen children, their bodies shattered by explosives and torn by flying metal. Many died. Those who lived often awoke to find their entire families gone.
Guys, we got hell on earth going on right now. We got hell on earth. And as horrible as this sounds, I'm glad we have cameras so that you guys can see it. So when they sit there and they say, "Oh, I'm running to my bomb shelter," why do you guys think I yelled at that so like and told her you're fucking stupid? At least you have a fucking bomb shelter, bitch. Nobody feels sorry for you niggas, man. This guy has no reason to lie. He's just an American doctor. Indian guy.
Last year, I published in the New York Times a survey of 65 American healthcare workers who had served in Gaza. 83% of them reported seeing children shot in the head or the chest.
That's the Israelis sniping the kids, chat. Kids getting shot at.
I personally treated 13 such cases in my 2 weeks at European Hospital.
2 weeks. He had 13 fucking patients that were kids that got shot in the head.
According to the War Child Alliance, nearly half of Gaza's children are suicidal. They ask, why didn't...
How the fuck can you have a child be suicidal? They haven't even got to live life yet, man. Guys, I know this is very disturbing what I'm playing for you guys right now, but I need you guys to hear it from him directly. So when you see Netanyahu over here lying about we give pamphlets to the people so they can get out, it's cap, bro. Look, some of you guys might be mad watching this. Some of you guys might want to turn it off. Some of you guys are maybe pissed off. I don't know. But this is what's going on. And I'm sorry that I'm giving you guys this and fucking ruining the mood and shit like that. But I think you guys need to be aware of what the fuck is going on here. There's a reason why everyone is shitting on the nelkboys right now. This motherfucker that they interviewed is responsible for all this.
Didn't I die with my sister, my mother, my father?
Imagine that. A kid is saying, why couldn't I just die with my family? Why couldn't I just die with my family?
Not out of extremism, but out of unbearable grief. I wonder if any member of this council has ever met a 5-year-old child who no longer wants to live, let alone imagined a society in which so many young children feel this way. And what astonishes me is not that some children in Gaza have lost the will to live, but that any still cling to hope. My Palestinian friends, mostly healthcare workers, no longer speak of resilience or even survival. Parents memorize their children's clothing in case they must identify their remains later. They pray for one piece of bread to give them before they sleep so that their children might die less hungry if they are killed at night. And meanwhile, my Israeli and American friends express horror at what is being done in their names. Many of us cannot understand how our governments continue to arm this senseless destruction, but you in this chamber have the power to stop it. Mr. President, I am here because I have witnessed what is happening in Gaza with my own eyes, especially to children, and I cannot pretend not to have seen it. You too cannot claim ignorance. I urge the Council, and especially my own government, to act with urgency on these enforceable measures. 1, demand an immediate and permanent ceasefire, including a halt to all arms transfers to all parties to the conflict, alongside targeted and lawful sanctions on Israel. 2, demand the reopening of all of Gaza's crossings and guarantee unrestricted medical evacuations, including to hospitals in the West Bank and East Jerusalem,
They can't
where
even leave.
Palestinian patients can be treated by Palestinian doctors, with safe return to Gaza assured. 3, guarantee sustained humanitarian access throughout Gaza, allowing all essential supplies, shelter, food, water, fuel, and medical supplies to reach all people in need.
All right. Sorry, guys. I know that was very disturbing, but I think you guys needed to hear it from someone that was there.
Kill you. And if you say a word in protest, they'll kill you. If you're gay, you're in bad shape, really bad shape. And if you are a woman, you're chattel, you're nothing. You're property. That's the opposite of everything we believe in. We, I say, it's not only Israel, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the same.
How do you respond to, like, I'd say there's a lot of American support from the females, from the gays towards Palestine. So how does that make any sense?
That's, gays for Gaza is like chickens for KFC. I mean, that's insane. The whole thing is absurd. Chickens for KFC, right? Gays for Gaza, or, women for the women of Gaza. What are you talking about? They're completely subjugated. They've got this death cult that is contaminated. So you can push this stuff on TikTok or whatever on the stuff, but you can't build peace or security on the rocks. They'll crash. I mean, these things will crash on the rocks of Middle Eastern realities. You can only build peace on truth and reality, not on deliberate, falsified fantasy.
Why do they say Israel's like starving the people of Gaza?
Well, because we're trying to get the food in, and we let food trucks in, and guess what happens when we let them in? Hamas steals the food, takes the good chunk for itself. Then
I think the other reason too, guys, why they wanted to get me off quick is because I talked about October 7th, a lot of it being a lie.
Sells at inflated prices. They jack up the prices, and then they sell the food to its population, to its hungry population, if they give them at all. And then use the money that they take from their own people to recruit more killers into their terror machine. That's what happens.
Why are more Palestinians not siding with Israel against Hamas then?
Well, up to now, they've been terrorized, but guess what's happened?
Because Israel illegally occupies them. And Hamas resists that occupation. Look, do I agree with it? No, but you need to understand how people what's going to happen. Violent occupation is always going to lead to violent resistance. Water is wet. Up is down. Like, dude, there's consequences to your actions. If you occupy people for like 70 years, what the fuck do you think is going to happen?
Since we're beating Hamas, all of a sudden we see Palestinians rising. You have to see this to believe this, okay? And they say to Hamas, hey, you're not coming into my building. You can't use my school or this hospital as your command post. We're not letting you. And they start fighting them. Now we have actually armed conflict between Palestinians and terrorists. It was unimaginable a year and a half ago. But now there are Palestinians who rise up. And, the more the better, because we can create a different future for Gaza. And we should also do something very simple that President Trump said, and it was brilliant. So that's my idea. That's how he cuts to the chase. He says, at the end of this war, the people of Gaza should have the choice. If they want to leave for other countries, they want a freedom of choice. Why are they locked in? Hell, we're not locking them in. Anybody could leave, but Hamas is locking them in. Suppose they want to leave. They want to go to another country, okay? Why shouldn't they have the freedom of choice to do that? Because this is all upside down, The victim of this horrible terrorism is called the aggressor. The people who are oppressed by Hamas are seen as supporting Hamas. Give them a choice. Give them freedom. Give them a life and give them a future. They can't have that with these Hamas stormtroopers. But the amazing thing is, I come here and I see these protests. The people who are protesting for Hamas and against Israel, they burn American flags. They not only burn the flag of Israel, they burn American flags. They're anti-American. They're not.
This is what Netanyahu does. He always makes Israeli problems American problems.
MAGA. They're not supporters. Who do they support? You know who they support? They support Iran and its proxy, Hamas or Hezbollah. What does Iran do? Just understand, people who support Iran or speak on its behalf. Iran tried to assassinate President Trump, not once, but twice.
They were behind those assassination attempts?
They openly admit. By the way, they put out a price on his head, on mine too, by the way, smaller price. I'm not offended.
They actually put a price on your head?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's smaller than his, naturally. He's the president.
Well, you assassinate their leaders. So it's, once again, this is what happens. Bro, this is what it is. Violence never ends, unfortunately.
President of the United States, for God's sake, okay? So they put out a fatwa 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, by the official cleric of the irradiated regime, that President Trump has to be assassinated, and that I have to be assassinated. And by the way, they targeted Sarah, my
I got to fact check that one.
wife was here, and they targeted our bedroom window. Yeah, we were supposed to be there. They hit through their proxy Hezbollah. They fired a drone right into our bedroom window. So
Just recently?
Oh yeah, it was a couple of months ago. Yeah.
Wow.
No, it was a year ago actually. Yeah, a year ago. Okay. So how many months?
7 months.
7 months ago. She counts, you know. But yeah, so they tried to assassinate President Trump twice. They've killed and injured thousands of Americans in Iraq and Afghanistan. They bombed American embassies. They murdered 241 Marines in Beirut. They chant death to America, death to Israel. They're out to get America. They're building they were building atomic bombs and intercontinental ballistic missiles. That's their plan to reach America. So you want these mad ayatollahs to have that power? Of course not. They're anti-American, they're anti-Israel. And the guys who protest, and many of them are paid and organized by foreign NGOs, bad people. They're out against America. They hate Israel because they see Israel as part of America. And you know,
What is that, like the 5th time now that he's made Israel's problem ours? You guys notice that? He's very good at that.
in many ways, they're right.
I'm just trying to figure it out too, because even in New York City, right? What's Zoran?
Yeah.
He's an anti-Semitic guy.
Yeah.
The highest, I think the highest population.
Bro, he's not anti-Semitic, bro. He doesn't like Israel. That's not anti-Semitism. But of course, bro, look, man. Oh.
Of Jews in New York City. How's that even possible?
Well, it's possible because a lot of people have been taking
Yeah,
it.
no wonder people are mad. Steiny's asking some ass questions. Bro, no wonder they're so fucking pissed. Fuck.